got a treat for you, though. Why don't you follow me? I'll give you a little tour of these mountains. We'll go dance with them.
I was watching it, and all of a sudden there was a puff and a popping sound, and it just kind of went up a little bit and absolutely straight down.
On a fateful October day, the trajectory of a man took an unforeseen and terrifying turn. John Denver, the maestro behind hits like Take Me Home, Country Roads, found himself in the cockpit of a small private aircraft, gracefully soaring above the vast landscape. Little did he know that this ordinary day would mark the conclusion of his musical journey in a way that would send shivers down the spine. As the small aircraft sliced through the sky, Denver, a fervent lover of flying, was in his element. His passion for aviation had propelled him to new heights, both literally and metaphorically. Yet, in the harrowing last moments of that flight, something inexplicably went awry. Join us, as in this video, we'll delve into the final day and painful ending of John Denver, as he was only 53 before the tragic ending. John's childhood and his love for music. Born on December 31, 1943, John Denver's full name was Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. The Jr. in his name was a special nod to his father, Henry Deutschendorf Sr., an accomplished U.S. Air Force pilot and flight instructor. Growing up in an Air Force family meant frequent relocations, and John experienced life in various states such as New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arizona, Alabama, and even a stint in Japan. Eventually, they settled in Fort Worth, Texas. John's childhood was marked by shyness, and the constant moving made it difficult for him to form lasting friendships. However, amidst the challenges, he found solace and joy on his grandmother's farm in Oklahoma. It was there that he first encountered the timeless tunes of classic country music. A pivotal moment occurred when his other grandmother gifted him an antique Gibson guitar at the age of 11. This gift opened up a new world for John, and he discovered that music, specifically singing along while playing the guitar, became his key to connecting with others. High school was a turbulent time for John, and by his junior year, he took a daring step. Fueled by a strong desire to pursue a music career, he ran away to California. However, his father, being a pilot, swiftly intervened and brought him back home to Texas. Despite the setback, John had to return to high school and complete his education. After finishing high school, John enrolled at Texas Tech in Lubbock to study architecture. Yet, his passion for music persisted. During this period, he became a part of a musical group called the Alpine Trio, further solidifying his journey into the world of music. This experience opened John's eyes to his genuine talent for creating music, paving the way for his journey to become a renowned musician. With each passing day, he honed his skills, securing gigs, and gracing local clubs with his melodic voice. Eventually, he boldly decided to leave college behind, redirecting his focus towards Los Angeles, fully immersing himself in the captivating realm of music. Have you ever listened to the soulful tune "Leaving on a Jet Plane" by the folk group Peter, Paul, and Mary? Interestingly, John Denver was the mastermind behind this song. He crafted it during a layover, overwhelmed by a profound sense of loneliness. Aeroplanes held a special place in his heart, as flying was not just a passion but also a parallel love to his musical pursuits. The success of "Leaving on a Jet Plane" propelled John into the spotlight of the music industry. Recording studios admired his wholesome image, leading executives to propose a change in his last name for enhanced brand recognition. Drawing inspiration from the picturesque capital city of his beloved Colorado, John adopted the stage name Denver. Later in life, John and his family settled in Colorado, where the majestic Rocky Mountains ignited his creativity. Many of his songs were inspired by the breathtaking landscapes, and the name Denver worked like magic for him in the late 60s and into the mid-70s. John Denver's musical journey comprised 6 albums, with 4 of them making significant waves. Chart-topping hits like "Take Me Home, Country Roads," "Annie's Song," and "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" solidified his place in the music scene. Notably, his song "Rocky Mountain High" became the official state song of Colorado, etching his legacy in the Centennial State. John Denver's first major hit and personal affairs. In the pivotal year of 1965, John Denver's musical journey underwent a significant transformation. He stepped into the limelight by taking over from Chad Mitchell as the lead vocalist, guitarist, and banjoist for the renowned Chad Mitchell Trio. This trio held sway on college campuses and in folk-centric coffee houses, captivating audiences far and wide. Amidst fierce competition, with over 250 performers vying for the same role, Denver emerged victorious and became an integral part of the group. It was during one of their performances at a college in Minnesota that Denver crossed paths with Annie Martell, then a sophomore. Their encounter blossomed into a beautiful love story, culminating in marriage the following year, and the eventual adoption of 2 children. As Denver's musical focus shifted towards songwriting, he ventured into the realm of solo artistry after the disbandment of the Mitchell Trio. His inaugural solo album, Rhymes and Reasons, debuted in 1968, showcasing Denver's knack for political commentary in songs like Ballad of Richard Nixon, and another piece centered on Vice President Spiro Agnew. However, it was the emotive and widely resonant song Leaving on a Jet Plane that catapulted Denver to stardom. Crafted in a single evening, locked away with a pound of salami and a 6-pack of beer, the originally titled Babe, I Hate to Go struck a chord with audiences. Its sweet yet slightly ominous portrayal of 2 lovers parting ways resonated deeply, especially during the tumultuous era of the Vietnam War. The young couple's financial situation took a turn for the better when the enchanting melody of Leaving on a Jet Plane was recorded by folk superstars Peter, Paul, and Mary, skyrocketing to become a major pop hit. This triumph allowed John Denver to turn his long-held dream into reality as he relocated to Aspen, Colorado in 1970. In the picturesque landscapes of Aspen, Denver found himself closer to the natural wonders that had inspired much of his heartfelt music. Here, amidst the breathtaking scenery, he continued to pen songs destined to become cherished classics for generations to come. Diving into the folk pop scene, Denver released albums under the Radio Corporation of America label. In 1971, he attained stardom with Take Me Home, Country Roads, a song co-written with Bill and Taffy Danoff. This marked the beginning of a decade during which Denver, either independently or collaboratively, composed most of the material that catapulted him into pop phenomenon status. Annie Denver, his wife, shed light on Jon's musical process, describing it as a divine channeling of creativity. The songs seemed to flow effortlessly through him as if he were a vessel for divine inspiration. Annie emphasized that his music emanated from a profound place, often reflecting feelings of solitude. John Denver's musical journey was not just a career, but a soulful expression that touched the hearts of many. His numerous awards and community services. One of John Denver's standout songs, Rocky Mountain High, gained immense popularity, especially among the residents of his home state, Colorado. This song beautifully captured the back-to-nature ideals embraced by the counterculture movement of the 1960s and resonated universally. In recognition of his poetic musical contributions, the Colorado governor honored Denver with the title of the state's poet laureate in 1974. Denver's music transcended genres, finding favor with both pop and country audiences. His widespread appeal was acknowledged when he clinched the Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year award in 1975. Nevertheless, this cross-genre success stirred discontent among some traditionalists in the country music scene. At an awards show, host Charlie Rich went so far as to symbolically set fire to Denver's award envelope with a cigarette lighter. In the early 1970s, a growing divide emerged between popular music and the preferences of music critics. John Denver found himself on the less favored side, with his image characterized by a mop-top haircut and wire-rimmed glasses, deemed outdated. Critics were quick to dismiss his lyrics as sentimental or overly sweet, with some going as far as labeling Sunshine on My Shoulders as egregious. Despite these criticisms, Denver's impact on a broader audience remained undeniable, and his musical legacy endures. Even with criticisms, John Denver maintained his popularity, and his music continued to resonate with audiences, consistently selling well. Denver openly acknowledged the simplicity of some of his songs, but passionately defended their profound meaning to him, and their remarkable ability to connect with people worldwide. Country singer Kathy Mattea stepped forward in support, applauding the genuine sincerity embedded in Denver's music. By the mid-1970s, Denver had solidified his status as one of America's most celebrated male entertainers. His greatest hits album held a remarkable position on the Billboard charts for nearly 3 years. In 1975 and 1976, Denver clinched 4 American Music Awards, noteworthy for reflecting the sentiments of music buyers rather than industry insiders. Of the 24 albums released on the Radio Corporation of America label during his lifetime, 14 earned gold certification, while 8 reached platinum status, marking them as million sellers. Denver's triumphs extended into the 1980s when he expanded his talents beyond music. Notably, he starred alongside George Burns in the 1977 film Oh God, and took on the role of hosting multiple television specials. One of these specials, Rocky Mountain Christmas in 1975, not only secured an Emmy Award for Denver, but was also released as an album, further solidifying his multifaceted success. John Denver's collaborative spirit soared as he joined forces with a diverse array of vocalists, including the likes of Placido Domingo, Julie Andrews, and Emmylou Harris. Beyond his musical endeavors, Denver expanded his influence by establishing the Windstar label, where he played a role in producing the disco sensation Afternoon Delight, recorded by Bill and Taffy Danoff as the Starland vocal band. Not content with just making music, Denver's passion extended to preserving the very wilderness that had inspired many of his soulful songs. In 1976, he laid the foundation for the nonprofit Windstar Foundation, and the following year, he launched the World Hunger Project. This dedication led to his notable appointment to the Commission on World and Domestic Hunger by President Jimmy Carter. Before this turning point, Denver's musical focus primarily delved into political themes. However, in the ensuing decades, particularly in the 1980s and 1990s, he channeled a significant portion of his energy into various political causes. These included wildlife and wilderness preservation, anti-hunger initiatives, projects under the United Nations Children's Fund to enhance the lives of children, and active involvement in peace groups. His commitment extended to staunch opposition against the proliferation of nuclear weaponry, showcasing his multifaceted dedication to making a positive impact on the world. John Denver, a musician and passionate advocate, engaged with leaders from both political spectrums, despite his critiques of Republican presidents Nixon and Reagan. In an unexpected twist, he received the Presidential World Without Hunger Award from President Reagan in 1987. The accolades continued with an Albert Schweitzer Music Award for humanitarian activity in 1993, marking him as the first non-classical musician to be honored with this distinction. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Denver leveraged his musical prowess to champion various social and political causes. Venturing into uncharted territories, he embarked on a tour of the Soviet Union, collaborating with Russian vocalist Alexander Grodsky to craft the powerful song Let Us Begin, What Are We Making Weapons For? In 1992, he made history as one of the first Western pop artists to tour modern-day communist China. John Denver's commitment extended globally, as he staged a benefit concert in the Soviet Union to aid survivors of the Chernobyl nuclear plant disaster. His 1980 television special, Rocky Mountain Reunion, not only clinched multiple awards, but also addressed the critical issue of species endangerment, showcasing Denver's unwavering dedication to using his music for meaningful change. Denver's challenge with personal life. John Denver's personal life was marked by challenges, acknowledging episodes of infidelity that eventually led to his wife Annie seeking a divorce in 1982. In 1988, he embarked on a second marriage with Australian actress Cassandra Delaney, but this union too ended in divorce. Despite these setbacks, Denver faced his struggles head-on, grappling with the frustration of not securing a major label recording contract. His later albums were released independently on his own Windstar label. Amidst these difficulties, Denver remained resilient, drawing strength from what he called the dark night of the soul. He declared, "I've been through that, and I've survived it." However, the early 1990s saw Denver facing additional personal challenges as he was arrested twice for driving under the influence, further intensifying his private struggles. The 1970s stood as the pinnacle of John Denver's musical journey. During this era, he recorded and released approximately 300 songs, with an impressive 33 million records sold globally. Beyond his musical prowess, he showcased his diverse talents in television shows and films. However, as the 1980s unfolded, Denver's career experienced a decline. While he continued to perform, his focus shifted towards activism. A trailblazer in incorporating environmental messages into his music, Denver pioneered this effort with the song "Whose Garden Was This?", written by Tom Paxton. This marked the beginning of a series of environmentally conscious songs that aimed to raise awareness about pressing ecological issues. For Denver, the untamed landscapes of the American West fulfilled his adventurous soul, and he tirelessly used his platform to advocate for environmental causes, his love for adventure. Denver embodied the spirit of an adventurer, always fueled by an insatiable curiosity to discover the wonders of the world. This passion for exploration was deeply rooted in his upbringing, particularly instilled by his father. It was under his father's guidance that John learned the art of flying, igniting a flame within him. By the mid-70s, John had evolved into a skilled private pilot, achieving certifications for single-engine land, single-engine sea, and multi-engine land aircraft. Beyond conventional flying, he also mastered the art of piloting gliders. His determination knew no bounds, as he even underwent training to pilot a jet aircraft, enabling him to use it for traveling to his concerts. Over the years, John Denver's adventurous endeavors in the skies accumulated an impressive total of over 2,700 hours of flight time. His commitment to mastering various aviation skills reflected not only his love for flying, but also his desire to seamlessly incorporate it into his life, especially as he crisscrossed the country for his musical performances. John's enthusiasm for space exploration. Beyond the familiar landscapes, Denver's fascination extended to the unexplored frontiers. His curiosity ventured beyond the borders of Earth, reaching into the vastness of outer space. Denver's keen interest in space exploration was so profound that he actively pursued a unique endeavor. He undertook and successfully cleared NASA's examination, which assessed both his mental sharpness and physical fitness for space travel. His qualifications propelled him to the forefront as a leading candidate to become the first civilian in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. John had ambitious plans to compose a song while in space, adding a creative touch to his space exploration journey. However, fate took an unexpected and tragic turn when he was denied the opportunity to join the space expedition. Ironically, this rejection turned out to be a twist of destiny that ultimately saved his life. The Challenger spacecraft, on which he had aspired to travel, tragically exploded during takeoff in 1986. In retrospect, John Denver's dreams of space travel were thwarted, but unknowingly this rejection spared him from the catastrophic events that befell the ill-fated Challenger mission. Denver's passion for aerobatics and glider flying. John Denver's close companions frequently painted a portrait of him as a daredevil, especially when the stage was the open skies. His enthusiasm for flying extended to heart-pounding aerobatics and the graceful art of glider flying. A testament to his daring spirit was his penchant for shutting off the engine of his plane approximately 35 miles from Aspen, showcasing his adeptness at skillfully gliding it to a safe landing. In his fleet of aircraft, John possessed a Kristen Eagle and a pair of Cessna 210s, each a manifestation of his passion for taking to the skies in various forms. These airborne exploits were not just a demonstration of skill, but a reflection of John Denver's unbridled love for the exhilarating freedom found in the boundless blue expanses above. His love for aircraft. In the year 1997, Denver decided to embark on a new adventure, seeking the thrill of flying in a different kind of aircraft. This quest led him to discover the Long EZ, a popular home-built plane. What made this particular aircraft intriguing was its unique history. It was crafted in 1987 by a skilled builder in Texas. The standout feature of this Long EZ was a special modification, the fuel selector valve, a vital component directing fuel to the plane's engine from various tanks, was ingeniously placed over the pilot's left shoulder. This modification allowed the plane to sustain flight without the need for frequent refueling. Upon spotting the plane for sale, John Denver felt an immediate connection and knew he had to make it his own. After reaching out to the owner, a meeting was scheduled. The owner reassured John that the aircraft was in excellent condition, free from any mechanical issues. They decided to take it for a test flight, and on September 27, 1997, John sealed the deal, acquiring the aircraft for $56,000. His ambitious plans for the Long EZ included a fresh paint job and a new registration, N555JD. With the paperwork in order, the plane soon found itself undergoing a makeover at an aircraft paint shop, getting ready for its new adventures under the ownership of the legendary John Denver, his final and painful ending. As John Denver's tour continued, he reached the pinnacle with his final concert in Corpus Christi, Texas on October 5, 1997. On that stage, he radiated vibrancy, exuding a zest for life, and his performance was nothing short of spectacular. Little did he anticipate the unforeseen fate that loomed on the horizon. On Saturday, October 11, 1997, John visited the aircraft paint shop, accompanied by the same flight instructor from previous flights. Taking to the skies once again, the instructor meticulously conducted a thorough check, which included 2 touch-and-go landings and various slow flight maneuvers, lasting about half an hour. Together, they meticulously reviewed the aircraft systems, with particular attention to the distinctive placement of the fuel selector valve. The instructor gave the aircraft a thumbs up, signaling its readiness for flight. Eager to take to the skies, John was filled with anticipation. The following day, Sunday, October 12th, he joined friends for a round of golf. Despite their encouragement to stay for another round, John's excitement to fly his newly acquired aircraft couldn't be contained. Little did he know that these moments of joy and anticipation would mark the final chapter in his adventurous journey. Dressed in green pants, a vibrant sweater, and cowboy boots, John Denver made his way to Monterey Peninsula Airport in Monterey, California. The weather was ideal for flying, with clear skies and gentle winds setting the perfect stage. Undertaking his pre-flight inspection, John couldn't help but feel unsettled about the unconventional placement of the fuel selector valve. Determined to address this concern, he had already initiated the process of relocating it to its original position. Despite the slight challenge of reaching the valve, John planned to engage the autopilot before making any adjustments during the flight. Just after 5 p.m., with the right wing holding less than half a tank of fuel and the left wing less than a quarter full, John contacted ground control and received clearance to taxi. At 5:12 p.m., he obtained permission to practice 3 touch-and-go landings, a maneuver involving brief runway touches before taking off again. Everything appeared normal as John went about his routine. At 5:27 p.m., he requested to leave the pattern and explore the surrounding area. Tower approved his request, but asked for confirmation of a 4-digit code. When they couldn't identify him, they requested John to reset his transponder. Seeking clarity, John asked, "Do you have it now?" Little did he know that these words would mark the poignant conclusion to his final communication: the crash. Merely a minute later, at 5:28 p.m. Pacific Time, everything took a tragic turn. The once peaceful flight, soaring through the skies, suddenly went awry. The plane, which moments earlier had been gliding tranquility, abruptly pitched downward toward the Pacific Ocean, not far from Pacific Grove, California. Eyewitnesses on the ground observed the aircraft flying at an altitude of about 500 feet, when, in a startling turn of events, it sharply tilted to the right and descended straight into the ocean. These bystanders also recounted hearing an unusual noise, similar to a pop or backfire, emanating from the plane's engine just before its plunge. The aircraft was so close to the ground that there was barely any time for anyone to react. The subsequent recovery of wreckage from an area approximately 30 feet deep aligned with the eyewitness accounts. The front of the plane bore severe damage, consistent with the impact of a nosedive. The post-mortem report revealed that John had suffered multiple blunt force traumas, confirming the crash as non-survivable. Remarkably swift in their response, search and rescue teams arrived at the crash site just 3 minutes after the plane hit the water. However, the challenging task of retrieving all of Denver's major body parts from the water, located about 25 feet deep, consumed the entire evening. This unfortunate incident marked the abrupt and tragic end to the life of the legendary musician. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In 1997, John Denver, the iconic musician, embarked on a quest for a new thrill that would take him soaring through the skies. His journey led him to the discovery of the Long EZ, a popular home-built aircraft. This particular plane, born in 1987 in the skilled hands of a Texas builder, boasted a unique modification, the fuel selector valve. Positioned daringly over the pilot's left shoulder, this crucial component allowed the aircraft to draw fuel from various tanks, enabling it to continue its flight without the need for frequent refueling. The moment John laid eyes on the plane, a magnetic connection sparked, and he knew he had to make it his own. Contacting the owner, who reassured him of the aircraft's pristine condition, they scheduled a meeting to put it to the ultimate test in the open skies. On September 27, 1997, amidst the winds of fate, John sealed the deal, acquiring the Long EZ for $56,000. With dreams as vast as the sky itself, he envisioned a future filled with adventures, planning a fresh paint job and a new registration, N555JD. Little did he know that this airborne companion would become an inseparable part of his legacy. This plane's unique modification led to the final day and painful ending for John Denver. He was only 53 when he died. Should he have been piloting a plane all alone, especially one that he wasn't very experienced with and had so many advanced modifications? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Aftermath of the tragic crash. In the aftermath of the crash, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, swiftly initiated an investigation to piece together the events leading to the tragedy. Their pursuit of answers took them along several potential avenues. Initially, it surfaced that John Denver had encountered challenges in the past that hindered him from securing a necessary medical certificate for flying. In 1993, he faced legal issues, getting arrested for driving under the influence. Thankfully, the judge showed leniency, and John, pleading guilty, received probation and a $372 fine. However, just a year later in 1994, he found himself in another predicament, crashing his Porsche into trees while under the influence of alcohol. These incidents shed light on John's ongoing struggle with substance abuse, a battle he openly acknowledged. Surprisingly, he even admitted that the inspiration for his iconic song Rocky Mountain High had been fueled by the influence of LSD and marijuana. Adding to his troubles in 1994, John accidentally collided his Kristen Eagle plane with a Cessna at a runway intersection in Jackson Hole. These incidents painted a portrait of a man grappling with alcohol-related issues. In 1995, John reported to his doctor that he was consuming 2 to 4 drinks per week while traveling, with no reported instances of alcohol abuse. Despite this, due to his prior legal issues and non-compliance with certain requirements, the FAA deemed him medically unfit to fly. In March 1997, John received a certified mail notification from the FAA, officially revoking his medical certificate. Despite this, he continued to fly, and the exact reasons for this disobedience remain unclear. It might be attributed to John's daredevil nature and his penchant for taking risks. However, the blood pathology results following the crash revealed no presence of drugs or alcohol in his system, adding a layer of complexity to the investigation. NTSB report on the John Denver crash. Now, delving into those investigative leads, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, had a wealth of information to sift through. Yet the crux of the matter boiled down to the positioning of that crucial fuel selector valve. Insights from interviews with seasoned pilots who were well acquainted with this aircraft and had hands-on experience flying, it revealed a meticulous process involved in altering the fuel selector. To modify the fuel selector, a pilot had to navigate through a series of steps. First, They needed to remove their hand from the right side control stick, especially if they were manually flying the aircraft. Next, they had to release the shoulder harness, followed by turning their upper body 90 degrees to the left to reach the handle. The final step involved turning the handle to another position. Two pilots even shared their harrowing experiences of inadvertently running a fuel tank dry, a situation that could have led to catastrophic consequences. This was primarily attributed to the intricate arrangement of the fuel selector and side gauge locations. Interestingly, when NTSB investigators physically took control of a long EZ to replicate these maneuvers, they encountered a tendency to unintentionally depress the right rudder pedal with their right foot as they turned. This observation added an extra layer of complexity to the investigation, highlighting the challenges associated with the specific design elements of the aircraft. In essence, the NTSB concluded that the crash stemmed from a combination of factors. Firstly, the pilot's attention veered away from the aeroplane's operation. This diversion was compounded by the inadvertent application of the right rudder, leading to the loss of control while attempting to manipulate the fuel selector handle. Secondly, insufficient pre-flight planning and preparations played a significant role, notably the pilot's oversight in refueling the aeroplane. Thirdly, the builder's decision to position the unmarked fuel selector handle in a challenging-to-reach location, along with the absence of markings on the fuel quantity sight gauges, contributed to the mishap. Moreover, inadequate transition training for the pilot in handling this specific aeroplane type was identified as a factor. Lastly, the pilot's overall lack of experience with this particular aircraft type played a role in the unfortunate incident. In dissecting the events leading to the crash, the NTSB highlighted a confluence of these factors, emphasizing the need for a comprehensive understanding of the aeroplane's intricacies, thorough pre-flight preparations, and effective pilot training to avert such occurrences in the future. Jons' magnificent bronze statue. Denver's life met a tragic end at the age of 53. However, the brilliance of his legacy shines on, extending well over 2 decades. Nestled in the heart of Denver, Colorado, a splendid bronze statue stands proudly on the grounds of Red Rocks Amphitheater, which also houses the Colorado Music Hall of Fame. This magnificent statue, reaching a height of 15 feet, portrays John Denver in the role of a passionate conservation activist. In this artistic rendition, he warmly welcomes a majestic eagle onto his arm, with a guitar securely strapped to his back. The symbolism captures his commitment to both nature and music. In a noteworthy moment in October 2014, John Denver earned a star on the iconic Hollywood Walk of Fame. The grand unveiling of this star saw the presence of 2 of his 3 children, Jesse Bell and Zachary. Today, his legacy endures, reaching out to countless hearts and providing solace and inspiration through the timeless power of his music. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.